Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. I am so excited about the next series of videos that you're going to be watching. And that's because I have with me a very special and important guest. You've heard me say it all the time that it's extra important that you work with licensed advocates of the High Court of Kenya. And that's what Mr. Mura is. So stay tuned. We're going to be covering a whole range of issues from a legal perspective. So you know it's not just my opinion. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. I am Solomon Wando. So Andrew, thank you so much for making time to come have a chat.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So just real quick, I met Andrew in 2015 when he and his investment group members, through other individuals that we happen to know in common, asked me to come and speak to them. I think it was a Saturday morning, very early. And the idea was that I would come and talk to them about why they should consider investing in Nanyuki and purchasing land from Goshen Acquisitions as opposed to any number of other land sellers. And I was really excited about that because I get to speak, especially with chamas and investment groups, with a bunch of people at the same time as opposed to one-on-ones. It's just a more effective way to get the message out there and present our case. And I was excited for that reason. But I was also extremely nervous because I found out that every single member of this investment group, and the name of the investment group was Capital Edge Limited Liability Partnership, LLP.
Correct.
Every single one of the members of Capital Edge was an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And anytime you have a number of lawyers in one place and you're dealing with legal issues, it can be a bit intimidating. But I'm glad I did because they ended up being one of our customers. They purchased land in Nanyuki. And one thing led to another. Over the years, I've gotten to know Andrew better. And now he handles a lot of conveyancing or commercial transactions for us when we're selling land or even when we're buying, and a host of other issues as well. And so I'm excited for that reason that you get to hear from the horse's mouth, as it were, regarding the legal aspect of land transactions. And let's face it, everything around the land transaction is about the law, period. So that's why I'm really excited. And Andrew, if you would just kind of tell everyone, what your background is, when you started practicing, and that kind of thing.
Very good. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you for having me. So, as you heard, my name is Andrew Mura Muiruri. I run a law firm in Nairobi along Lenana Road. Our law firm is called AMM Law. You can find us on ammlaw.co.ke. My background is, I got admitted to the bar in the year 2011, January 13th, I believe. And today my practicing number is 02463 of 2018.
That's your LSK license number? Correct,
for the year, because every year a lawyer must take out a practicing license. You'll find that, yes, someone has been admitted to the bar, but everything they do could be rendered a nullity if they had not taken out a practicing license for the year.
Right.
So that number I've given you, 02463, is the one I have for 2018. Awesome. And I'll have a different number in 2019, all the way like that. If you want to find me on the
different number every year you renew?
Correct.
Okay.
But if you want to find me on the LSK website, my admission number is P105 stroke 8249 of 2011. Now that is unique to me.
P105 stroke
8249
of 2011.
Correct.
When you got admitted
when
to
I
the
got
bar.
Yes, and that number
awesome.
remains standard for each and every advocate.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the reason I'm happy you mentioned that is because I'm always screaming at everyone about making sure you work with licensed professionals, not just a professional. They have to be licensed at the time that you engage them. Otherwise, you are effectively dealing with a quack. So there you have it.
Yes. Yes.
And so you've been practicing specifically in conveyancing, or do you engage in other types of legal services?
So, right at the start of my career, I had the privilege to work in the international sphere. I was doing a lot of international work, and specifically in the criminal law angle of things.
Okay.
But when I started my own law firm, which was in November of 2013, I've focused on conveyancing transactions and commercial transactions. Conveyancing is essentially the buying, the selling, the transfer of property.
Specifically property.
Specifically property. We're talking here about developed or not developed.
Yes.
We're talking about financed or not financed. So that entire spectrum of you moving a piece of land from one person to the other is what we call conveyancing. Tied to that very closely, we find that often many people will borrow money in order to make the purchase.
Right.
Or due to their businesses, they might need to do a lease agreement with their properties.
Okay.
So on this, there's also the commercial angle of things.
Right.
Where, for instance, you might have loan agreements between parties, companies buying other companies. You know, that is now what
Commercial
falls
law.
under commercial law.
Right.
And that is also something we do.
Okay.
We have, at the start of the law firm, we used to do a lot of litigation as well. Litigation is essentially going to court and arguing out the disputes between parties.
Yes.
But we've since reduced our workload on litigation just on account of time.
Right.
So when we have to do dispute resolution, we tend to do arbitration only, which
Right.
is essentially a private form of doing dispute resolution that does not rely on the courts,
On the courts. Okay.
for resolution of disputes.
That makes sense.
So it's faster, and I wouldn't say cheaper, but
Right.
it's definitely faster. And you can imagine for most companies and business people, faster really means cheaper.
Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I mean, I'm familiar with all the terms and the jargon, but
Yes.
a lot of people usually don't get the opportunity to ask for clarifications around what's the difference, what's a conveyancing lawyer? Because I tell people all the time, work with a conveyancing lawyer when you're buying or selling property or
Yes.
dealing with property, and they wonder what that means. So I'm glad that you've gotten a chance to clarify that for everyone.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask Andrew to hold his horses there, because in the next episode I'm gonna get into the meat of things as far as land buying is concerned, and property buying and selling in general. So stay tuned. If you have any questions whatsoever for Andrew, please feel free to reach out to us. Social media platforms are up and running. You can even send us an email, inquiry@goshenacquisitions.com. Give us a call at 0700010001. Again, that's 0700010001. I will also, and you'll probably see this just beneath us, that we provided Andrew's contacts should you like to get in touch with him directly for your various conveyancing and commercial concerns. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. I'm Solomon Wango. Stay tuned for more information.